So, hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening based on your time zones. I hope everyone is doing good, and welcome to the day 7 of your Cloud Computing Expert Masterclasses. So, here we have learned AWS first week. Last 2 days, we were dealing with your cloud secure, cloud in the Azure terms. So, we are going to go ahead and get the one of the idea regarding the Azure, how to create this thing and all the parts over here. So now today, this is going to be the day 7. Okay. So in the day 7, I'm just writing a very small agenda for here, but all of us know that we will be covering few more things in today's session. So here, what I'm going to do is what we are going to cover and what is the target for today. Let's just look into that. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and just talk about that itself. Okay, great. So I hope till this point everyone is getting the idea that what we are doing over here. Now, while we will be talking about the day 7 is all about introduction to your Azure security over here. Now, in the Azure security, we'll be talking about the protection against security threat on Azure. We'll be talking about the network security on Azure. Two of the things we will be discussing over here. Okay, on the today's session. And okay, so two things. But apart from that, if we talk about, we have to see the your whole monitoring part as well. Okay, so we were discussing somewhere in the monitoring as well. So monitor part also we have to look into that one as well. Like monitor part. With that, we also be looking into the something which will be like your other management tools. So yesterday, if you guys remember, we were talking about the CLI and PowerShell. So we haven't completely got into that particular part itself, what it is going to be. So still, we'll be looking into the few of the factors of that. Okay, great. Let me just try. Uh, okay, I would say. Right. Okay, so what we will do, let's just get started. So yesterday, if you guys remember what we have done, we started with the creation of a particular virtual machines. So we started with the VM. Two VM we created. One was your Windows base, another one was your Linux base. Okay, another one was based on your Linux itself. So today what we have to do is we will be dealing bit more with them, and we will be seeing the different way of finding things running the CLI PowerShell command. We were talking a bit about the installing the server, getting the connection over here. So this was the part of our day 6. So moving on from there, we also deploy the web app as well. So all those resources we were deploying in a single your resource group. So if we have to look into that, let me just take you back to the portal first of all. In the portal, you can see there should be our resource group, and the resource group name should be the your Cloud Expert Masterclass. So in this masterclass, you remember we have the app service plan, app service, Cloud Expert Masterclass Virtual Machine 1. Its resources, Cloud Expert Masterclass Virtual Machine 2, which was on the Linux. So two of these machines were there. So let me open these machines onto the new tab. I was having this, your web app as well. Let me open that in the new tab again. So these machines were there. So already in my morning session, I was actually utilizing them, and that was good because I was today talking about some security tools itself in my morning session. So I think that is going to help you as well. So we are going to have web app, two virtual machines as well. Now, while we are having this thing, we will be going ahead and learning the few more concepts. This is the web app which I stopped as well. So if I want, I can start this as well. But today we have, we don't have to deal with this too much. Now, in this cloud expert machine, if I remember this correctly, again, its IP address will be changed. So again, what I can do, I can go here into the RDP connection, connect RDP connection, download the file. Again, go there, connect with this machine, and we can connect with this service over here. Now, while you will be going with this particular service, there is going to be your resources, the services that is going to work like this. Now, in this particular part, okay, this is my machine which I was having in the Windows. Now, if you remember, yesterday I actually installed the particular your what say what was the name? I installed the CLI on this one, right? So if I will open the CMD, I was just showing you some commands over there. So Azure CLI, we have gone ahead and we have installed into this particular machine itself. So right now, if I will be going ahead and I will be, you know, CLI, Azure CLI over there. So we'll be starting very basic with that, right? We will be just running very basic commands and all things over here so that you can understand. And rather than giving you the theory, the slide, I would love to give you these, things practically over here. So first of all, if you remember, we were going with this, yesterday as well, I was running this thing. I was going very first thing was the AZ hyphen version to check that whether I have the Azure CLI and which version of the CLI is there, right? Now, your CLI is, it is telling you is up to date. So I can go ahead and I can have something like, remember I was telling you, you can use find command, AZ find, to give you some example related a particular setting you want. Or, let's say that I want, queries very specifically related to the Azure VM. So to create VM, actually there is the commands like AZ, then VM, and then you either do create or something. So what are the some popular command related to AZ VM? It will be giving me the some example. To deallocate VM, you will use this command. AZ VM deallocate hyphen name, your VM name, hyphen its the source group where it belongs to, right? To create a default Ubuntu VM with automatic SSH authentication, you will run this command. Then to start a stopped VM, you will run this command. So it is some example that it is giving me. Now let's say that I want to create a VM. So you can see first few words always say AZ VM create. So I can run it something like AZ VM create, right? So this I will be putting into the double quotes and run my query again, which is AZ find AZ VM create and start. It is giving me some example again, only the example of how to create the Ubuntu file over there. Same, you can go for the storage, the blob and all those kind of the scenario over here. Now, if you have to create any resource, so how we will start with this thing? I'm just showing you some examples so that you guys can get yourself familiar. AZ VM, or first of thing, I need to do the login. So AZ login I need to perform. Now it will be opening up my browser asking me to do the sign in. So just give me a minute. Let me just pause the screen for a minute. And from here, let me just log in into my account. Okay, so I'll be just pausing this screen and just gonna go ahead. Actually, I have to grab my password. I don't remember the password all the time. So where is my password store? I have to go with that actually. And get the password. Okay, so now I am logged in over here. Now you will see I have been perfectly authenticated over here, right? So you can close this window or you'll be redirected to the CLI documentation page. I'm happy that if it will be, redirecting me to the CLI documentation page, because that is a very good page for the people who just getting started with the CLI. So in 1 minute, it will be restarting me over here. Now, if you will see in here, it just, the web browser, it is just going ahead and telling me that home tenant ID name, which subscription I am going with and all that kind of a thing. It is going to be this particular place. Okay. Now it will be just letting you know that, you have this thing and you can now start with your particular idea that what and how you are going to go ahead. So not here. So this is the first thing. Now it will be taking me to the CLI documentation page. So it is taking me a bit of time. So I'll be clicking on this thing and here you can see how to download. You have done this thing. Now CLI extension, you can read this thing. How to get started over there. So here it will be telling you like if you want to see sign in methods. So how to do the sign in. This, these learn.microsoft.com, they will be having everything that you need to do. Like, I was talking about the easy login. This is going to be in there. You can directly provide your username and password as well in the query itself. Now, what you have to do is, your resources, they will be talking about that how you to work with that, and how to work with the different scenario over there. So it will be talking about with the whole scenario, easy login. If you have multiple tenants, ID, you know you can go ahead and run those queries over there one by one. Now what you have to do, once you are logged in, you will be going ahead and you will be picking up few other resources on the way, right? Now let's say that you are looking to go ahead and create some resource, like very simply a resource group. So what you have to do, you will be going in there and you will be starting with this something like uh, uh, not here, AZ. Now what we want to do, we want to go ahead and we want to create some simple resources. So we will be going with the AZ group and create query. AZ group create. Name we will be giving what name we want to give over here. So hyphen name and the name of resource group like CLI group 1, right? Like this. Now in which location you want to give this particular your resource, want to create this one, hyphen location, and then we can give the like East US, right? This is the East US 1, 2, 3, different one are there. So East US 1, we want to go with that. So you will enter this thing. Now, okay, oh sorry, not the one. We shouldn't have used the one. So only the East US, it will be, referring to the your first location itself. So only that should be enough here. Now what I did, it goes ahead and it created a resource group for us, right? Now I want to verify this thing, right? So we created a group, although this has given me in the JSON format that what it has done, it has created the resource group over here. Now, what we can do, we can go ahead and we can type something like AZ group and list, AZ group list and enter. So actually I'm having lot of groups, right? So you can see a lot of name will be popping up, like one is Key Vault, Application Gateway, right? Your Okay, where is the name? Network Watcher Test. So this is the CLI group one which we created, right? But if you are not familiar with the JSON, you might see this is a very confusing task. So what you can do here is we can go on to the your again documentation page. So there should be this something like for view as well. Yeah, this is like one output format. If we want to change the format, what is going to help us, right? For JSON format, hyphen output you can use in JSON format, colorized JSON format, YAML format, how you want the output to be. So like AZVM list, and after that, you can put the particular way that how you want your resource to be displayed over here. So you will be going on like this particular one, like hyphen output, and choose any of these format. Like colored JSON, colorized JSON, if you want to go with, you will select this thing. You will go with this z hyphen list hyphen output, and your like what was that, JSON C, and enter. Now in the colorized format, you will be getting the your resource over here. But still, the people who don't understand that how JSON look like, it will be a bit confusing for them. So we want some other method as well. Like you want YAML, if you can understand YAML, I think better will be the table format, right? So you can go ahead and we can change it to the table, easy to understand, hyphen output in the table format. Now These are the list of my resource group. You can find your resource group over here. Okay, and this is how you will be working over here. So CLI with group one, which you are having, you will be working with this. So you get all these kind of a resource over here. Now, there is no shame, like you can't remember each and every command. To be honest, even I can't remember each and every command, right? So I am just simply the Linux commands that are my storage account in my mind that has, it has to keep all the data, all the details. So I can't remember each and every command from the Linux, from the Windows, from the CLI, from Bash. AWS, it also has its own commands, so I can't remember everything. So trust me, I also take the bit of a help from here, right? So this is something that you will be doing, and the people who is working with them on daily basis, they will be remembering all the things. So same thing, if you have to run that, how to create a resource or start a resource, you will be going ahead and you will be just simply uh, you know think searching like how to delete resource. Now you can search same here as well, that how to delete resource as well. So how we will be deleting a resource, you can go ahead and simply we will be going with this thing. Okay, so I can have the list of the group over here in the format of table, or I can have it on the format of list as well, right? So this is going to give you the okay, list is not a full valid format. So you can see the allowed format is these table TSV none. Okay, great. So what we have these kind of the idea going on. Now, which resource group you want to delete? Again, find is something that will be helping you. AZ find, and you can search AZ group related queries, AZ group, right? So it will be giving me the help. So check if group exists, group wait, group update. Okay, no delete. So I can understand AZ group delete, and then you have to grip the name of the resource group usually. So what we will be doing, either I can search for that, but directly I will do something like AZ group delete. Okay, hyphen n with the name and the group name. Okay, so group name was what? CLI group 1. Okay, so I will write CLI group 1. Yes, I want to perform this operation. Okay, now as you can see, operation has been performed. So I will go ahead and I will be simply working with this again, like CLI, see group output table. If I run this command right now, you will see that CLI is missing from this part, right? So Azure CLI group has been deleted from this particular picture over here. So we can have the queries like this to run. Now, what else I can show you? If you remember, we were having the PowerShell as well, right? So I could search for the same thing. I can go to the Google right now, right? And in there, I can search the same documentation for the PowerShell, that how to install the PowerShell module over there. Like, you can simply search install PowerShell for Azure on Windows. So already in the Windows you have the PowerShell. So how will be installing the module? It is where it will be focused. So follow these steps. It will be just working over here directly. Now you can run the PowerShell through the PowerShell as well. You can run these queries, these commands. But I'm not going to do that, means directly to install and anything. Why? Because we have the third option as well. So now this PowerShell that I was showing you, it could be installed on the Windows, on the Linux, on the Mac OS, anywhere. And this is the second option. Okay, in the scripts we will be talking about, first is always management portal, second CLI, third is PowerShell. Fourth option that you will be seeing in here is going to be the, while you are, if I'll be taking you back to the main Windows, right, and I will be taking you to the management portal itself. So what we are going to have, let me open a new tab, okay, of home. and we have this Cloud Shell button on the top, just right next to the search bar. So you'll click on that. Okay, I will increase the size of the screen. Requesting a Cloud Shell. Okay, what it will do when you will be creating this for the first time, it will be asking you to create a storage account. So just go with the default setting, click on that button, and it will start running this whole thing at once. Now you are requesting a Cloud Shell, it is succeeded, and now you can run on the both. Now this is a Cloud Shell, means in a browser it is running. So in reality, if you have to understand its architecture, think like this. There will be some server on which it is running for you and then giving you the connection. Right now I have both option here. Either I want to go with the PowerShell or the bash, or from here itself I can run the both command. No need to change anything. Oh, so from here you will go ahead and you can start running your queries related the same, right? So just like we were going with the your CLI, there is going to be the PowerShell as well. So what we are going to call them the commandlets. If you are familiar with the PowerShell, I just simply call them the commandlets, and it will be helping to do the same thing. So again, what you can do, you are on the particular part, so you can import the Azure commandlets over there, right? And you can work with that as well. Like if you are on the PowerShell, you can run something like okay. So bit of the, if you will see, I should be supposed to write here, but it is showing it over here. So sometime in the CLI, you might say the UI problem. So in that case, just click on the power button and restart it again. Okay, this is just connecting. Let me just type and check whether it is working fine or not. It is working fine. So let me just, it is just auto completing the commands for me. So I'm just going with the, simple commands, checking whether it is working properly or not. So I'm going to do something like import module. Okay, import module, and then, let's say AZ, right? So it is already going to have that AZ module over here. So we don't actually need to do this thing, but I already run this command. Then you will be doing, after this, you will be doing something like, connect AZ itself. Okay, next query will be your connect hyphen AZ account, which we again don't need to do because we are already logged in over there. Now you'll be choosing your subscription to work in and start working with that, and all these kind of the things will be over there. Okay, so what we will do here is now, we will start with the resource group list that what we were having over here. So why don't we start working with them? So if in here as well, if I will open this thing that search for the Azure PowerShell guide. So what if we will be getting the for the Google, just a minute. Let me just go to the Google. Okay, we'll be going for the PowerShell documentation over here. So in the PowerShell documentation, same thing. View, get started, download, everything will be there. How to install, right? Authentication method, credential concept, deploying the resource, and everything will be there. Some samples, view, format output, like we were seeing just last time. Same thing is going to be in there, right? How you'll be writing things. So how to get the list, which format are there, right? What table format, get AZVM, list of the VMs you want to get. So get hyphen AZVM. Let's say this time I want to run this command. So I can copy this, go back in here, paste it, get AZVM, right? So it will be going ahead and by default in the format of list, it will be bringing this one in front of you. So you got the list of the all my virtual machine that is in there. Okay. In which machine, which place, what the name, NIC, provisioning, zone, all the details it will be bringing in front of you, right? So also what we can do is we can go with the something like if we want to get the resource group. So we can go and do something like get hyphen AZ resource group, resource group. And now what it usually do, it is auto completing nowadays. So here you can see the format that you are getting, a list you are getting over here. Now if I have to change it to the format table, Yes, Abraham, like I was telling you that inbuilt PowerShell module, you can use it, okay? And you need to just install the module. That's why in the beginning, I was showing you that how to install it. So you will be going with the guide onto the install, how to install it on the window. If you go over there, this will be guiding you that your inbuilt PowerShell command that you have, you can use it. I was telling you that I'm not going to go ahead and install the PowerShell module, okay? You can do it by yourself. I'm just showing you the command via the Cloud Shell, which was the another option, right? So we are going to have this thing. So I'm not showing you that, through the your inbuilt PowerShell command, you can do it, but the commands will be same. This is the Cloud Shell, third option. Okay. So till now we have seen three options. First is the your portal management portal, that UI, which is this one. Second, through the CLI, and third is going to be through the PowerShell right now. And fourth one is this thing, Cloud Shell. So four ways of doing the same thing, right? This is going to be in there. So this is the first thing. Then, if you remember, I just opened the format command, that how you can get the format over here. So it will be telling you that you need to use something like format hyphen table, right? Which will be telling you that in table format, I want to see my resource. Get AZ resource group, put a pipe in between, and then format table, right? So we can have something like this running, and in the form of table, you will start getting the list of your resource group, right? So this is going to be the your way of doing it. Now, if you want to create something, you can create a resource group as well, like uh, how new, you can see whole resources, new AZ resource group hyphen location, where you want to deploy it, and you can give the name. So I can go by this as well, new AZ resource group and whole thing. So you'll be going like this, hyphen location hyphen name, what you want to give the name. So I can change it like, hyphen name, PowerShell group one, right? So this is something that what we can have, and then simply enter this thing, and it will be creating a successfully quickly created a resource group for us. Again, I can check it with the get age resource group, and there is going to be the your, this is the one, PowerShell group one, and the central US, that what we have created over here. Now, same thing, if you want to remove this group, what you will be doing, you will be having the command, yep, remove hyphen az resource group. Right now, you'll be giving the name hyphen name. Then group name is PS group one, and we can force this job as well, force delete as well. But I don't want to do the force delete. I will simply going to delete it. Type Y for yes, that I want to delete it or not. So it will take its time, and then delete the group. Right? And you are getting the things like this. Now, if I will be switching back to the PowerShell, what is the benefit of going with the Cloud Shell itself? So it will be, by being in the beginning, you will be choosing which default mode you want. Like I was choosing the PowerShell. So I can run the PowerShell command from here as well. And with that, I can do one more thing. I can go ahead and have group like the AZ, run the command like AZ group list output table. So from this blue PowerShell screen from the CLI, I can actually go ahead and run my query and get the list as well. So from the same screen in the Cloud Shell. So what we are having this is the Cloud Shell, which is in the portal. So we have seen CLI, we have seen PowerShell, and this is the Cloud Shell. So best part regarding the Cloud Shell is you can run the from the same page here, you can run this query as well, which is in the bash, right? So I don't need to switch the your cloud shells pattern from PowerShell to Bash all the time. I can run my query from this PowerShell window as well over here. If you want to run, you can do that as well. Right. So through the PowerShell, you can do a number of things. You can run the VM server. You can add the new VM server. You can change their configuration. You can go ahead, add the disk, delete disk, populate thing, initiate the disk. All the things can be performed with the help of these PowerShell. So this is just the very bit of the other introductions that you have over here to go ahead and work with the your PowerShell. Now, one more way I will be telling you, although that was not the, originally I was thought that I'm going to tell you, but here is one more thing in the your Azure. That is, you can deploy resources directly via JSON. And why I'm talking about this? So this is my virtual machine, right? And if I have to explain this thing, this is nothing but a kind of a code. This virtual machine that in this format that you are seeing, it is nothing but the code, right? And even this whole machine, I can give you in the JSON format. So here you will see a JSON view button. You can click on that and you can simply go ahead and have the whole thing for yourself. So you can have this thing, you can go there and you can just simply tell that this is nothing but your JSON format, this whole machine. Now, how to create it? It is called your infrastructure as a code. You can define your whole infrastructure as a code itself, right? So what you can do, you need to go ahead and you need to just define this thing in the JSON format. And this is what is required of you. Now, for doing this thing, if someone wants to really learn this thing, okay, one thing is, I create a resource. This is having different things like network interface card. It is part of a network subnet and everything. You can go here on the left hand side. You can export its template as well, right? If you want to learn about this. Now, based on the, your format of the your API which it is using, the whole format is going to depend over here. But simply if you want to download it, you can download it as well. Okay. Now, if you have to deploy your template, so what we will be calling it, we will be calling it a template. So what we are going to deploy, we are going to deploy a template. So deploy a custom template. Okay, and this is a place for the beginners where you guys can actually learn that how you will be working with the your particular uh, JSON or the JSON format. So you can build your own template in the editor. There are some samples of common template. You can even go and get few of the quick start templates from the GitHub and other places as well. This is helping you to understand that how you can write something. So the whole infrastructure like virtual machine, VNet, disk, you can define them as the JSON as well. Like if you want to go ahead and build your own template in the editor, you will be seeing this kind of a format over here. So right now, the schema that which we are using, that is going to be a bit important over here. Based on this, you are going to define the format. So like this format is going to be different than the one, if I will having the API format of 1.1.2015, that is going to be different. Now, what you want to do is you want to say, let's just say you are learning something. So it is bit helping you out. You can select a resource. I can select it like, uh, right, what? That expert master class and click on OK. Now what it will do, it will give you the idea that how this is going to be there. So there are different part. If you're familiar with the JSON parameter part, here you are defining the resources and there could be the variables as well. But right now, this is how it is going on. So API version, this it is using. It depends on Azure, we are saying Azure Masterclass, which kind of resource I'm deploying. Microsoft Network Virtual Networks. Okay, location, wherever you are deploying. If I'm deploying it in a specific resource group, whatever is its location, pick that one up, right? What should be its displayed name, its properties, its subnet, right? So from variables it is asking, okay? So you must need to define the variables. So here are the variables, okay? So variable has been defined like network address, Azure Express Class prefix. So when we are talking about the address that you will be giving it, it will be using the variable address prefix variable this. So if I want to change it and make it like 10.10 dot, you know, 0.0/16, so I will be keeping it like this. Then subnet 1, it should be with the name 10.10.0.0/24. Then subnet 2, it should be with the name 10.10.1.0/24, like this. So you can have variables as well whose value will be put up over here, right? So you can have this kind of a thing, and you can click on simply the save. Okay, this is my customized template. Which resource group you want to deploy onto the Cloud Expert Masterclass in the Central India region? Automatically it is picking this one up. Why? Because we have set wherever the location resource group dot location. So wherever the location of resource group, the my resources location should be the same. Next, review and create, and you can go ahead and create this whole thing at once, and it will be deploying a particular virtual network for you. So similarly, you can deploy the your particular other resources as well, virtual machine and everything. So more you will be moving, more you will be learning. These are the different formats that you will keep getting over here, right? So this is going to be the one part that what we have over here. Okay, so this is the one thing that we have learned. So JSON templates as well, we can use to go ahead and deploy our resources over here, right? So this is the few things again that we are using this thing, right? Now, this was the one thing. Second, okay, so I think till this point everyone is good, and we can just go ahead and we can look into the some other solutions as well. Okay, so now right now if I will go back in here, okay, a few machines, web app, everything, let me open them over here. Now when we talk about the your cloud, you will be running multiple software in there, and then this will become more complex. Now what you want to gain visibility into the health, performance, and application hosting environment of your resources over here, and you want to go with the lot of the different issues. If there are there, you want to quickly check for the outage if anything is there, any future plan downtime is there. You want to monitor your resource that at what particular time what it is doing. So what you can do, you can use some of the services which is given by the your you know Azure itself, so that even Azure will be helping you out with the like what kind of spending you are doing, how you can make it better. If there is any regional outage with the service health, it will be letting you know that up down time, all these kind of things. You can diagnose an issue, what issues could be there. So all those kind of things are going to be in there. So first of all, there is going to be the one product which is the your Azure Advisor. Okay, let me just check whether it is coming under on the left hand side. Oh, great. So very first one is going to be like your Azure Advisor tool that is in there. Okay, just give me a sec. Great. So first service that which we'll be looking into it is going to be the your Azure Advisor over here. So with the Azure Advisor, what we are going to do is we are going to go ahead and first talk about this. So in the Azure Advisor, it is going to be kind of your virtual assistant over here. Now this virtual assistant, it will be helping you out and tell you that what should be your approach if any service you are running and you are not running it in a very optimized way, due to which you are just getting more of your charges over there, or your availability is being impacted, or your performance is down, right? And your architecture is like high availability is not there, due to that you are not fault tolerant, there is no proper disaster recovery for you, security is also compromise of your resources. So it is going to let you know that okay, where you are lacking. So that advisor will help you to improve your first of all reliability, then security, then performance, cost, and even the when you achieve all this thing, automatically you will be getting the operational excellence over there. Now Reliability means making sure to improve the continuity of your business critical application. Security, it used to detect the threat and vulnerability that might lead to the security breaches. In performance, it will be used to improve speed of your application. Then the cost, it will be used to optimize and reduce your overall spending over there. And in the end, there is going to be simply the operational excellence. So it will be used to help you achieve a process and workflow efficiency, resource manageability, and best deployment practices over there. So first thing is this. Now, when we will be looking into this one, where it was, let me take you to the portal. In the portal on the left hand side, you can see your advisor, right? So this is going to be the advisor score over here. So, it is bit changed from the screenshot. Okay. Screenshot is bit older one over here. So you can see it is successfully refreshed the recommendations over here. My advisor score is already 83%. Right? So what it is suggesting, I am almost following them. So in security, I'm lacking like, I'm only 13%. Means I need to improve the security. So cost, I'm using the 100%. Reliability is kind of your again 100%. Operational excellence 100%. Performance, your 100%. Cost, reliability, reliability is saying use net gateway for outbound connectivity. Operational excellence, performance, no recommendation. Cost, no recommendation. In security, it will be having much or very, I think 43 suggestions for me, right? So it is telling me SQL database should have vulnerability finding resolved. Okay. Endpoint protection should be installed on the machine. One virtual machine is affected. File integrity monitor should be enabled on the machine, so it is not enabled onto the two virtual machines. So it is giving me the advisor, so cost based recommendation, anything that it can give me, not right now. Security related, around 43 recommendation, if you will see, it is giving me, and actually it is coming from the another security service which is known as the Microsoft Defender for your cloud. Right, so it is giving me those, actually the services, but in one place, if you want to see, this will be there. Operational excellence, performance, and then there will be the all recommendation that is there. So it is giving me, it is going to give me this kind of the idea that you should be doing this particular thing. Now, this is only the one solution that you are seeing in front of you. Similar to this, there is something else which is known as the monitor service over here. Now, Monitor is actually a platform for you to collect, analyze, and visualize the potential, and potentially taking some action based on the matrix and logging data from your Azure environment over there, right? So, when we are talking about the monitor service or the, your uh, advisor service, these come under the, bit of the security part itself that we are working over here right now. So here we are just going ahead and we'll keep talking about these things. So in application insight log analytics, what it is doing, this is going to just give you the idea that how it is going to work. So if I will talk about this, you know this thing Azure Monitor, it can work with the different things like metrics for your resources or logs for your resources. It will be saying that application system, from the operating system, from resources, from subscription. So it helps to maximize availability and performance of your application and services. Right? It is going to gather the data and monitor resource from the Azure monitoring services. So well, in the CIA, which is in the security, availability is obviously a very important factor. And if your resources are available, obviously your performance is going to improve over there. Right? Now, what you can see with the monitor service, what you can do, you can actually collect the log from the different kind of the resources over there, from the different layer, right? There would be like application layer, operating system, Azure resources, Azure subscription, tenant, right? Everyone is going to do some task onto the your Azure environment. Now you need to enable the logging, that go ahead and collect the log from the different places, right? Then Once you have that, you have, number of different ways actually with the monitor service in which you can see real time and historic performance across each layer of your architecture, and you can get the aggregated value over there. Now, each layer will be telling the story for the different kind of the audience over here. And you can get the overall idea that what is going on with your service. And if you will see here something like, what you can have application insight. Remember yesterday with the web application I was telling you. So you can look at what my application is doing with the log analytics, any service like SQL, or if I'm having like SQL, storage account, virtual machines. These all things can go ahead, and these all things can help you out with the understanding of that how the particular going to give you the understanding that how the particular service is working, collecting the logs from there, keeping eye tracking them. Then basis of that you can create some smart alerts as well, right? You'll be creating these smart alerts like, if someone stopped my virtual machine, send me the alert. Started my machine, send me the alert. If, based on matrix that which we were talking about, if someone is sending the, data exfiltration is happening, my network output is increased, right? So give me the alert. So those kind of the things are going to be there, and you can add some action that needed to be taken if specific kind of event it happened. And you can add those matrices and customize the dashboard of your Azure portal itself. So what I'm talking about is, if I will take you to the portal here, in that particular part, at the home page, if you go from here, you can see the dashboard. Okay, here we will be selecting our scope. Let's say, for example, this first virtual machine. I will be selecting this virtual machine. Now there will be multiple matrices on a basis of which you can just go ahead and create or have a record, like your CPU credit remaining, or there will be like inbound flow, network in total, network out total. So I can have the figure like this. What is my network out total over here? So you will be having the graph like this. So I'm having the sum of that. I can have the average value of that, or I can have the minimum or the maximum value chart as well in the aggregation. So I am just like right now going with the sum, right? Or I can change my matrix as well. Like I can go ahead and select something like your percentage CPU use. You have this, you can create this one, you can add the one more over here. And with the one more, this is the first matrix that you have. And again, I will click on this add matrix button. Now I can compare it with the your second virtual machine in the same resource group. I will uncheck this and select the other virtual machine. Okay. Now, now you will see two different machines are being compared side by side. Okay, both of these are so selected and compared side by side. You can go ahead and you can just change the your charts as well, like line chart you don't like, so you will say I want the area chart, or you will be saying that I want the bar chart, or you can say that I want the scattered chart. Okay, whatever you like, you can pick that particular one up. Let's just go with the bar chart here. Okay, so 2 3. Now this thing, what I can do, I can save it to my dashboard, pin it to the dashboard over here if I want to. Okay, the dashboard which I was showing you earlier. So to that dashboard, I can pin it if I want to. That pin it to dashboard. Which one? Private one. I have the my dashboard too. I can go in there and can pin it over there. Okay, like I can pin it over there. Pin to the dashboard. I can go to the home, select it, go to dashboard, and if I will change it to the dashboard too, you can see average comparison that is going on over here, right? So I can edit it, make it like this, and make it landing page so that my admins, they directly have the idea what is going on with the particular machines over there. Now, so you will be noticing one simple thing, that CPU2 most of the time going up. Why? The reason is, it is only having the lesser of the CPU and only 2 gigs of RAM, and it is being used almost all high at the different points itself. So you can get these kind of a chart over here. And not only that, if I will create another chart, a new chart I want to create, okay, let leave this here. So what I can do is I can create an alert rule for this one as well. Like I can define that if suddenly my network out total goes beyond a particular, let's say 10 gigs in one day, 10 GB check in every 1 hour, 2 hour, 30 minutes, like that. So you can define a particular threshold value. So, you can select it like a byte threshold value, check in every 5 minutes, or, look back into the 5 minute period. And if there is a threshold which will be going ahead, I can decide that, send me, there will be some action group that I have created like this one. So with this kind of a these group I have created, that email addresses I can put, I can create some logic apps, some automations as well I can run over here. Even I can raise service ticket with the help of these action group, that like right now I have only configured that alert me via the mail. You can opt for the options, like you can go ahead and send the SMS, you can send the call as well, voice call also is the option over here. Now you can take action, like you can run some Azure function. If this happen, you can run webhooks, and you can go with the something like logic app, automation, ITSM service ticket you can raise. So these kind of thing also you can go and do this in the alert kind of a thing. One option is that. Okay, I'm not doing all these things, just telling you these options, what these options are. Same, you can go and view some logs as well. So what kind of logs I'm having with this account or this subscription right now, all will be in front of you. So I have some SQL servers and I initiated some settings over there. With that, I'm getting the Azure diagnostic here, table as well, where SQL Server related data, diagnostic data from there is going to be, it's going to be in there. From the server, there is one database which I'm running. It is going to collect that, some of the logs from there. Same, some virtual machine related logs. Event, heartbeat, performance, syslog, update summary, IIS logs, all these are going to be in there. There is also going to be your custom logs, like Azure Network, Nginx logs that I was collecting in my another session. So different logs are there. So on the basis of those logs as well, if I want, I can create the alert rules. Okay. There is going to be then your, service health and all is also the here. The part of this, we can have the activity log as well. So someone started a machine, stopped a machine, delete anything, doing anything, create a new user, delete a user. All these things will be making sense of becoming a part of this over here. That you will get everything that is happening over there. You can get the logs of that. You can take a look what kind of the logs and operation you are having here. So you can take a look how long ago and all, right? Okay, so as you can see, different operations were being done over here. So we are having these lists. On the basis of this as well, you can create alerts. So this will be the alerts section right now. Now, total 5 alerts has been fired till now. Actually, there were 3 rules. 2 I deleted, 1 I didn't delete till yet. But if you want to go ahead and create some resource, like for this virtual machine, if I want to create a rule, I can go ahead and create a particular signal. I can choose, see all signals. Okay, from here I will limit my search to the signal type activity logs, and I can select that for all administrative tasks. Someone start this VM, stop this VM. I want to take some action. Again, I can select my action group. If you want to create a new action group, you will click on this button, which will give you the option of notification, which kind of notification you want, email, SMS, different kind of the actions, what action you want to take, run, pass it to the event hub function you want to run, ITSM you want to run, logic app, webhook, what you want to run over here. right? So these options are going to be in there when you want to configure an alert rule with the monitor, right? So anything that is happening, you can see that some of the actions has been fired in the past related to the different resources that were out there. Now, when you are seeing all these things, these are the alert, and again, from the monitoring page, you are just simply sending these things over here, right? So you can have the idea over here, and this is what this service is all about. Now, what we have, this is the monitor service a bit. Just an overview we are giving you that what is the service, how it will be working over here. Okay, so if you want to use them into the service in the security part for monitor getting the alert, we can use this as well. Now, apart from this, one more thing, Azure Service Health, right? So now you are using the Azure. Let's say that you hosted your whole web application over there. How would you guys feel if you are unable to get your web application? Okay, what will be your feeling, right? So you are not able to do this and you will be gutted about this. And this could be due to the n number of region. Might be your service is down in that particular region, web app is not working, okay, properly. So this could be the n number of region. And this is where the role of your Azure Service Health will be popping up. So what you have is that it can tell you about the Azure service issues, what is going to be in there. So it provide a personalized view of health of your Azure services, regions, and your Azure services, Azure health. This is going to give you the idea about the region, resources that you rely on, and it will give you the full picture why it was not even there. So anyone who has in the past received or notification or try to get the idea that if you were trying to access some Azure and it was giving you the error, like I remember a few years ago, the whole Teams, your Xbox, your Azure storage services, they were down, right? So there was some problem over there, right? And anyone who remembers such kind of a thing and the reason behind it. So earlier in the portal menu, there used to be the service health, but right now you will see you can't find it. Okay, either you can search it over here or under the monitor, you can go there and you will find the service health here. So when you jump into the service health, you can see, is there any service issue in the 8 region where my resources are? Okay. There are all 230 services and no service issue found right now. So you can check past issue in the health history. If you will look into this one, you can download this as a summary as well in here, right? The whole summary, you can track that what was happening over here. You can have a whole idea. Can you see the download summary over here. There was one my window machine that was affected over here. Global impact region, no impact to me. Conditional access policy changes were going on, and due to that, some of the impact would be there. So RCA policy was being changed, sign in issues that was there, post incident reviews, a lot of things that is going there. So you can go and tweet on the Azure support. So these kind of things, the health and health history is going to be in there to protect you or give you the idea that what is going on. So this was just the, we started with this service issue. Okay, let's just check, is there any planned maintenance? So what it is doing, it is automatically selecting the 8 region where my resources are right now. Now, all the services in there that if there is any planned issue that was there, no. Planned maintenance, none. Any health advisory that is there, okay, for my regions or anything, no. Any security advisory that has been deployed for my resource, which where I have deployed, no. So it is kind of the your guide which is helping you that do this thing and you will be protected over there. So this is going to be the few parts that is going to be running simultaneously with us at the different points over here. Now, this is the one thing that what we are looking into the and what we are seeing detecting as well. So out of this, I think one of the thing is which can help us is the monitor. So monitor is going to play an important role in your security part, security region as well. Now, after this, what we will or where we will be going, we will be jumping onto the Microsoft Defender for Cloud, which many of you will be knowing with the name what we used to have, Security Center. If you go around 1.5 years ago, its name used to be the Security Center, right? The name of this now has been changed into the Microsoft Defender for Cloud, right? So this is going to be the one part that is going to be in there. And still in many of the extension, it is going to be, still talked like it is the your Defender for Cloud. Okay. So you many time in the security region and all, you will be finding out that this is going to be the your Azure Security Center. So it's no longer the Azure Security Center. It become your Microsoft Defender for Cloud software. And where you will be seeing this, if you go to the home top here, and you will be seeing it onto the your Defender for Cloud section over here. Right now, the name Security Center, if you have heard over there, so this is going to be the your first of all, when we are talking about the Azure Security Center over here, this is going to be a monitoring service, or we can say a monitoring tool, which is going to give you the visibility onto the security posture across all your service over there, right? And it will be, a service. If even if either it is on the on-premise or either it is in the Azure itself, we will be talking about them, over here. So with this, we are looking for the Azure Security Centers that is out there. Now, with the Azure Security Center, when we are talking about, this scenario, this Security Center, or we can say the Defender for Cloud over here, you can actually go here and, security posture means if you have a term, it is mentioned in this, Defender for Cloud page as well. And that is what is that term? That is your uh, Microsoft, and then they will be rewriting like the Cloud Security Posture Management Tool, CSPM. Okay, heard this term? Cloud Security Management Tool, Posture Management Tool. Okay, sometime you might have heard this term. So it is gonna go ahead and it is going to check the posture. So infrastructure that you have created. Okay, Microsoft, we can always say, is following your rules, governance, and compliant, having a secure infrastructure. But you are the one who is creating the infrastructure on top of that. And if you are creating the infrastructure on top of that, that means that your security or the infrastructure that you have created, it should be secure as well, else there will be vulnerability in the design or anything. Attacker can take advantage and compromise your infrastructure itself. So while we are having these, simple kind of these scenarios, which is working like this. So with this particular security center, you can see it provide you a monitoring tool that provide unified security management and advanced threat protection. It does not matter whether they are on the Azure or on the on-premise, wherever they are, it will be just providing you the security over there. Now, one security center, what it can do, it can monitor security settings across your on-premise and your CloudWorks itself. And it can automatically apply those required setting onto the new resources if it want. It will be providing you these some recommendations as well, that what to do and how you can improve the score and all those kind of the scenarios over there. So it will be giving you all those kind of things. It can help you to detect and analyze any potential inbound attack, help you to investigate threat, post breach activity. It can help you to protect your workload with these things like just in time access, file integrity checking. All these kind of scenarios it can go ahead and work with as well. Even it can use the machine learning to detect and block your malwares. from being installed onto your virtual machine, and from the other on the other resources as well. So we can have this whole infrastructure for the Microsoft Defender for cloud itself, right? So this is few things that is going to be in there. So as we can see that this is going to be a more of a capable solution that is going to work over there, right? So remember this thing, and like I was telling you, file integrity checking as well it can do. So it can do let you know that what is going ahead and how things will be helping you in the different condition, different situation itself, right? It is going to be a CSPM tool. So rather than having a third party you know working for you, you can use this whole thing at once, right? So we have the Microsoft Defender tool, and you will be seeing it will be giving you a secure score as well, which will be letting you know that how well you are doing right now in terms of your security posture management over there. So this is going to be the few things that you have to keep in mind as well. So we were talking about its capabilities, right? So if we'll be going with this whole definitions and all, so you will notice that first it can help you with the policy compliances. So Defender for Cloud is, it can help you to apply some policies. Now, with those policy, you can monitor the policy and run something like, you can have the across the management. If you want to deploy some policy, like, in term of policy, you can deploy something like you want to check whether your infrastructure is PCI DSS compliant or not. So you can apply a policy on the resource group level, on the subscription level, or your whole tenant level itself, and check whether you are PCI DSS compliant, ISO 27000 compliant or not. So it can do that kind of the task for you. With that, it can give you the security alerts as well. So if someone is trying to do perform the on your web application, someone try to do the SQL injection, it can detect that. Okay, if someone is doing the brute force attack, so it can also detect that kind of a thing as well. Now, in the front page itself, you'll be seeing something like secure score. So it is going to assess your security posture. Okay, then check for the any security issues that is in there, and then find all those things where you are lacking or not. On the basis of that, it will be giving you some score that this is going to be the something that you are having as a problem over here, right? And what you can do with the secure score, you can assess the security issue, aggregate all the finding, and you can give some score that we are going to give you 10 marks or 10% for this one. Okay, and you if you will be doing like multi-factor authentication enable, your score will improve. So these kind of thing it will be doing that will be the recommendation part, but yes, I'm just simply saying it will be giving you a score. It will give you the resource security hygiene, means it will provide security visibility and recommendation to you, right? It can give you that if you apply any policy, how much compliant you are. Okay. And it can help you with the continuous assessment of your resources over there, that how they are going to be accessed, how they are going to work. So it will be working with that. With that, according to your infrastructure, that how you have deployed, right? I have deployed SQL Server, VMs. Based on that, it will be simply giving me the recommendations that, okay, you know, based on your existing workload and with the instruction, implement this thing according to, these particular scenario. So this is going to be the one thing. Then it is going to give you the threat protection as well. So with the threat protection, what we can have is, it can work with the Microsoft's threat intelligence. If it will detect any of the malicious IP addresses, try to connect to your resources, it will give you those kind of the alerts as well. So this is going to be the overall your Microsoft Defender service, which will be helping you to improve your security posture management and your different resources as well. So in here, if we will come back onto the your portal page, you can see that this is what it is going to do over here. So when we are talking about this thing, so if you have the free account, first time on that, what you have to do, if you are on the home page, go to portal menu. On the left hand side, you will be finding something like Defender for Cloud over here. Now, when you are going to be on the Defender for Cloud, This is the overview page, and this is that security posture, as secure score that we were talking about, right? Now, when we are talking about this thing, if you will notice, yeah, here, upgrade to new defender, cloud security posture management. So I was telling you that this is a CSPM tool, cloud security posture management tool. So what it is going to do, it is going to allow you to manage your, check your security posture. And remember that when we are talking about this thing, first time when you will be visiting this page, it will be asking you to do something like upgrade button will be there. So when you click on that upgrade, it is going to be like, your 30-day free trial that will be activated with this one, right? And so once you will be activating 30-day free trial, you can get the whole security posture and all around the your other resources, that what needs to be done and how these things need to be done over there. Now, with this one, here is your security posture score, and you can see, actually what they have done a new thing over here, that now not only Azure, if I will go to its setting option, you now can onboard your AWS, your Google Cloud Platform, these environments as well. If you want, you can go ahead and you can just simply add these AWS account, Google Cloud, platform as well, GCP and all, right? This both you can add here. So you can go to the add environment, Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud Platform, GitHub, DevOps, all these connectors are going to be in here, right? So this is the your second thing that you can have over here. Now with this thing, I am not going to add any of these environment, and you can get the whole your secure score over here. So this is going to be the secure score. So it will be telling you that where, and even there is going to be the sum of the recommendation that it can provide us. That is going to be, to help you with the different settings. Now, in the attack path, internet exposed VM are high severity, has high severity vulnerability. Which environment, what path, risk, begin, everything it is giving me as a detail over here. So I will go back to the recommendation page. You are going to have this encrypting the data, and this is going to be the your, sum of the part. Now, in here, what we are going to do is, this was the recommendation on the security posture that what we were dealing with. We can go back onto the overview page. Even Defender has something like, your regulatory compliances over there. So I have applied some policy which is checking my whole infrastructure against some regulatory compliances like cloud security. This is the default cloud security benchmark. Even I have applied something like NIST 800, your 53 R4 over there. In this particular one, what is happening? NIST is also applied. So you can check my regulatory compliance, how compliant I am according to any of the your benchmark. So 2 is only applied. I can add more as well if I want to. So this is cloud security benchmark. Where I am lacking, you will be seeing these cross signs. I can drop it down and get more detail. So some of the part has been compliant. Some of the part under the network security is non-compliant over there, right? So this is going to be the one thing. The ensure domain name is security, and you can just go, get these control details, get more details over here, why it is there, how we can, what my action can improve this thing, what action I should be taking, Microsoft action that it will be taking. So this is going to be the, whole detail that how you can become 100% compliant if you want to, right? So it is giving you that action as well. Even it can give you the option to protect your workloads as well. So security posture, regulatory compliances, things like your workload protection, you can have that as well. So you can check that, there are different workload, app service, keyword, and number of things are going to be in there. Now you can have things like this. You can enable your just-in-time access, file integrity monitoring, network mapping, IoT security, container security, vulnerability assessment, and vulnerability assessment on SQL Server. This is bit of the visual issue with my, you know, particular system over here. I'm not getting this whole view at once. So this is the enabling the, vulnerability assessment on SQL Server, vulnerability assessment on virtual machine. You can perform VA on these machines as well. So a lot of options this Microsoft Defender Cloud is giving you for the monitoring purpose to anyone, right? This is one of the your tool which can help you. And now, okay, I think I just generate some simple security alerts as well. If you will notice, there are 43 security alerts also that is going on. So you can select that page. And in there, what you can have is you can understand that whether or not this is going to work out. So if you will see suspicious, what is this one saying? One alert. Suspicious WordPress theme, your invocation detected. So you can read about this. You can click on something like view full detail, or you can go to the take action part over here, right? Like here. Second one, phishing content hosted on the Azure web apps. So you can go in there when it happened, sample web app, what was affected. You can click on, which part of the MITRE framework it will be, mapped. So you can go with that as well. Now, if you want, you can go with that as well, or, we can go ahead. Uh, we can have something like take action button. We can have full details as well. Whatever you like, you can have that over there, right? So sample Azure app, what is happening with them, alert detail, take action, details of it, which was affected, which resources are affected. So your security alert will be telling you. So somewhere will be the like this one, potential SQL injection attack, right? So it will be also telling you that there could be the your particular SQL injection attack that is going to be in there. What we will say, we have a resource based kind of a, on-prem where you have to manually install on the system. You require a storage device. So till now we were having your sim in the your places like organization on premises itself. Now when we are talking about the Microsoft, what they did, they changed the game by deploying the cloud, so in the cloud based your sim tool, right? So what we start having the cloud based here SIM tool. Now, Microsoft Sentinel is one of them. Okay. When we are talking about this particular Microsoft Sentinel tool, so it is not only a SIM tool, it is SIM and SO tool both over here. Now, with this one, when we are talking about the your Microsoft Sentinel, it is SIM and a SOAR, which is your security orchestration and automation response solution as well, which will provide us security analytics and threat intelligence across the whole enterprise itself. So a SIM, what it generally do, it aggregate all the security data from your, many different sources. Like it could be your on-prem or your Azure deployed resources, not only the like virtual machine or servers, no, also from your web apps, your databases, your server, from every place possible, it is going to collect the resources over here. Now, this here, as you can see in this place, it has the four things like collect, detect, investigate, and then respond. Four phases over here. Now, this Microsoft Sentinel, this first of all, collect cloud data at scale. So collect means through across the user, what users are doing, what devices are doing, what your different application are doing, what in your infrastructure is happening, either it is on the on-premise or cloud, it will collect. So security, and if you're familiar with the SIM tool, how they work, they usually collect the logs, right? So they start collecting the logs over there. When they start collecting the logs, with the logs, what is happening? You will have the insight what is happening in your organization over here. Now, when we are talking about this whole scenario, that so when we talk about this, first you collect this. Once you have logs with you, then you can analyze those logs and you can detect any suspicious activity that might be going on. So you detect previously undetected threat, you try to minimize the false positive using the Microsoft's analytics and threat intelligence tools over there. You try to identify which event could be a threat. Then if you examine or find any suspicious activity, then you will start investigating that particular threat with the, with the artificial intelligence. You can examine some suspicious activity at a scale. You can get the, experience from the Microsoft itself. So Microsoft is working in the field for a very long time. So it will be helping out with their information, their knowledge, what and how we can, work over here. So when we talk about this part over here, and this particular scenario, what is happening? You collect, you detect, and then you start investigating it. Now you find that this threat was actually the real. Now you will be responding to it. There, when you start responding to it, and this is the part where you got the, when you start responding to it, this is where automation kicks in. Now you can connect different type of the data sources to yourself. Like you can connect Microsoft solution like 365 Defender app, like Defender for IoT, Defender for cloud app. You can add, add your Azure Active Directory over there. You can connect, third party apps as well, like Cisco ASA and all, right? And once you connect all those things, even you can connect AWS Cloud Trail, Citrix solution. First of all, Microsoft solutions all are connectable over there, right? Like Microsoft Threat Protection Solution, 365 Source, Azure Active Directory, Defender for Fire, Defender, Firewall, all these things you can connect over there. You can connect other services as well, like, apart from the Microsoft services, like you can go with this something like Azure Active Directory, sorry, your AWS Cloud Trail, Citrix, Sophos. I'll be showing you in the page as well, right? VMware Carbon Black, Okta SSO, those things. And even you can connect some industry standard data sources as well. Like you can use the SEF format, syslog, right? From there also through the REST API, you can collect log as well. So all these things are going to be in there. Okay. Now, when we are talking about all these scenarios over here, when you're connecting with the data source, you connect it and then you will start detecting the threats. So how it is working? So first, let me show you the collect phase, right? So actually I think you guys are having a lucky day, because in the morning itself, I was working on the, particular Sentinel workspace. Okay. So there was, one session going on of mine where I was actually working on the Sentinel. So I have deployed it, right? So if you will be seeing over here, okay, I was giving some demonstration. So connect here, you will be having the multiple different data connectors over here. So in the data connectors, you can see 127 data connectors, right? Now here, if you will see AI, LSID, AWS, Apache Tomcat, Aruba, your Azure Activity, DOS protection, firewall, Key Vault, Kubernetes services, SQL databases, storage account, Barracuda, BlackBerry, Checkpoint, Cisco Power, Mercury, Cisco USC, Cisco Umbrella, Citrix, Cogni, CyberArk, DNS, F5, ForcePoint, DLP, Elusive, Juniper, you know, Microsoft 365 Defender, Defender for Cloud, Microsoft products. You can see SAP, Microsoft Sentinel for SAP, Morphic UTTP, NetSpokes, NSGs, NXLog, all the things are going to be in there, right? All these solutions that are the part here, syslogs, taxi, and number of connector you can see over here, right? We have a number of different connectors over here, which is working right now. Now, this is the something, the data connector. So this is the part which we were talking about, the collect. So through these kind of the connectors, you are collecting the logs. Now you can detect the threats. Now to detect the threats, there is going to be your rules that will be here written in the analytics tool. So built-in tools is going to be in there. You can go to rule template. You can see all the different rules pre-written over here, which will, which is from there. Microsoft has the experience. So their security team, they have written the rules for you to work with the different connector, and you can detect the threat on in real time that is happening on your organization. Now, if I will go to the overview page, I'm sure that there is, okay, new overview or old. Okay, let me just go with the old one. Old is much better. I'm comfortable with the old overview. You can see events and alert over time. So right now, no alerts are in there, right? So these machines are going, and if there will be any alert, then they would have populated this incident page. Now, once this will be there, you would have gone ahead and start investigating them, right? If you wanted the more visualization onto the logs, you will be having things like the workbook going on for you, right? If you want to perform hunting, so it will let you do the threat hunting as well over here, right? So these things are going to be the part what it can do over here. Just an overview. This is just a cloud-based SIM solution. Even you can perform automation as well. You can add your playbooks, over here, and do the automation of the resources that is going to be in there, right? So this is something that you will be doing over here, of with the Sentinel. It is cloud-based SIM tool which we can use over here, right? This is the one another solution that what we are having over here, okay, for the security. Now, these are the two of the tool which is going to be the costly solution. Usually, Defender for Cloud, you have to subscribe and you have to pay for it. Okay, same Sentinel because it will be storing the logs, working with them, analyzing them. This is also going to give you a pretty good amount of the cost which is going to be with this one as well, right? Both are going to be in there, so you can check their documentations, their pricing page. What is the Microsoft Sentinel? It is a SIM, security information and event management tool. With that, it is also security orchestration, automation and response tool as well, right? So what it do? Collect, detect, investigate, respond. Collect data how? Like this. Create interactive reports, connection, threats, alert, how it will detect, how it you can automate things. Everything will be here. Idea regarding the your Sentinel over here. So you can do all these things with the your Sentinel itself. So both are bit costly things. Now, this is the overview part from the security tools. Now, we will be looking into the some of the very basic things that goes around in the for the security purpose in the Azure itself. Okay, now let's move ahead from here and talk about, let's say that you generate some key. Okay, now you want to protect that key. Okay, now, what we will be talking about this PAM, yes, these kind of a thing. Now, Azure, what these are just like a password manager. Azure gives a solution to you, and that is going to be the your key vault, right? So it is to store, manage your secret by using the your key vault itself. Now, Key Vault, it is going to be a centralized cloud service for storing your applications or virtual machine secrets, your password, right? In a single or central location. It can store your different sensitive information, and it can provide you access control and logging capabilities over here. So it can, do all the things. What it can do is first, it can manage your secrets. So it can, you can use the key vault to store your password. Secrets are what? Your password, like your token, password, certificate, API keys, these kind of secret. Second, you can manage your encryption key. Okay, means either you can import your, key over here, or what else you can do is, first is that you can go ahead, you can, have your key over here, or you can generate a new key onto the key vault itself. Second is the key management. That's what it can do. Third thing, certificate management. Okay. So certificate is key vault. It help you to go ahead, create, manage, and deploy your public and private, SSL TLS certificate as well for your Azure resource and even for your internal resource as well. So if you have already have certificate, you want to generate it, both option you will be finding on the Key Vault. Same for the key as well. You already have it or you want to generate it, both option will be there. And even if you have heard about the hardware security module like Tails, right? And Cypher we have. So if you want to go ahead and want to generate a key or store a key into the HSM, what you are going to have is you will be having the option of your premium tier into the key vault, which will allow you to generate or manage your key with the your HSM hardware security module over there, right? So it is a centralized application or storage for your secret keys and everything. So if you want to control the distribution of the keys, your secrets, you can have that with the your key vault. You can safeguard your resources or your secret from accidental leak as well, right? And you can do what you can define who should be having access to this, who should not be having access to this. You can simply tell and integrate this with the other Azure services, like I'm having a disk, I want to integrate a I want to perform the encryption of my disk, so I can do that with the your same key vault again, right? I can go ahead with the key vault and I can simply generate the your let's say the disk that I want to integrate. I can use BitLocker, integrate it and store that BitLocker key into the key vault. Or in the SQL database, I want to encrypt my database, any particular field, I can store that key over here in the key vault, right? So these all options are going to be in there with your Azure key vault at any particular time, right? So how to create this thing, although I will be having a particular, if I would say, if I will go to the home here, I'm 100% sure that I'm going to have a key vault service. If not, I can create one as well, right? I can search for the key vault as well directly. I should be having one key vault like this one, right? So you will see there is going to be this something like a keys, the secrets, and those secrets are available. Keys, one key that I was using to encrypt the SQL database, that is there, and certificate. And everyone is having the option like generate and import, right? These are the places where I can keep my secrets safe. Now, how to work with this one? Okay, let me just show you how to create a key vault. Okay, so you can go to home, click on this, search for the key vault. Okay, I'm not going to explain a lot of thing over there that what is this feature, because then it will be taking a bit of a time. I'm just showing you that key vault is a service which you can create and store it for a store your resources over there. Now in here I'm entering the name Cloud Expert Masterclass, you know, and Kiwi for the key vault. In one specific region, I'm creating it. When you choose premium tier, then you will be getting the HSM backed key for yourself. Now you will go ahead. You can define the soft date feature should be for like 14 days. I'm keeping the default, disabling the purge option over here. Access policy, leave it as it is. To you on the keys, on the secret, you have been given the permission. If you want to see the permission section, you can check it, click on edit. So on the keys, what permission you have: get, list, update. You don't have permission on encrypt, decrypt. Same on the secret, on the certificate, which permission you have. Leave things default over here. Go on to the next, networking, allow access from everywhere right now. Next, go to tag and then simply the review and create. And this is how you will be creating a resource. I'm not going to click on create. Why? Because then a resource will be created and I will be end up paying for that. So I don't want that to happen. So just simply this is how you will be creating a key vault. And how that key vault will look like, this will look something like this, where if you want to go and generate a key or work with it, you can click on this. I can generate a key which is working with the either RSA, key size I can select, and I can generate a key over here, right? Or I can import. If I already have a key somewhere, I can import it and store it over here, right? Keys, the secrets, and the certificate, all we can have this over here, you know, totally safe and secure over here in this particular part, right? So this is the one another thing that what we are going to have over here. Now, one thing. So, moving ahead again, I will be coming towards the end, like we were leaving at the energy yesterday. So we'll be reaching to that particular point. Now, before that, what we will be talking about, there is one particular concept of the, defense in depth. So we'll be talking about that as well. But before that, if someone wants to go ahead and talk about that, you can have that as well. Now, again, remember, in the cloud, I will emphasize on one thing again, that security is always going to be your shared responsibility, right? So if you'll be looking the same chart that we have discussed earlier on, so it more in depth, if you will look into this thing, between customer and the cloud service provider, it will be shared responsibilities. Like here, data governance, right management, client endpoint, account and access management. These three things, either it is IaaS, PaaS, or SaaS, always customer's responsibility. Now, physical host, physical network, physical data center. This is always the responsibility of your cloud service provider. Now, operating system, it changes, like in IaaS, customer responsibility, rest, Microsoft responsibility. Network control, you will see IS customer rest here. In the past, both will be responsible a bit, right? As a user in past service, I can also create it. You can also, Microsoft will also have a bit of a say over there. The same goes for application and the your identity and directory part. Okay. Rest in the SaaS, it is being handled, application network control handled by Microsoft. Rest here you can see is kind of the shared, both have the say in it, depending on which kind of pass or SaaS you are using over there. It is depending on that. After this, what we will do is going to be the here. Okay, so we have done this thing. Now what we will do is, next thing that what we will discuss is, we have to take our responsibility seriously. So then there, if you remember, we were having the network security group. So yesterday I set up and a rule over there. So if you guys remember it, like rather than giving you this theory over here, if I will take you to back to the your virtual machine itself. This was the virtual machine. If I will copy this link and so I think this is the Nginx server which we were hosting, right? So this is the Nginx server that we were hosting. Now, earlier it was not reachable. So what I did in the your Cloud MC over here. So if you will see under the networking, when I was showing you the diagram, I was telling you that network security group with this name was attached to my network interface. It is going to have inbound and outbound rule. So there is going to be the first of all, it is going to define with the priority, right? So priority would be defined between 100 to 65,500, and lesser the number, the higher the priority going to be in there. So 100 is going to have the highest priority. Okay. Now with this, we created a rule like this, which is saying that source, right now I have selected any source, means from where my traffic is originating. So anywhere in the world it is originating, the user, like say that there are two things, like I am sitting here, I want to access a web app which is in this particular virtual machine over here. So if I want to use this, right, this source, I want to use this. So let's say traffic is generated from me, right, from my laptop. So it will be reaching to the destination also I have kept any. I am allowing which service action is, I am allowing traffic of HTTP. So here I can control the source, like I can make it accessible, that I can specifically say that if this traffic is originating from this IP address and that IP address belong to the Rishabh's laptop. Okay. Then in that particular scenario, what we are going to talk about that, I will give the IP address over here. I can also define from which port from Rishabh's laptop this traffic should originate it. But this is very hard to, control as well. But if you want, you can do that kind of thing. Then in destination, I can define the same thing, a specific IP address that, it is originating from here and want to connect to this destination only, and only then this will be allowed. Now, if I will keep this as the custom, I can select which port number you are going to allow someone to connect and which port number you are not going to allow to select itself. So that is going to be the your bit of the task over there, right? Now, when we are talking about this, I can also select in the source like my IP address only, or I can select some service tags like the traffic generated from virtual network, load balancer from all these places. And then the destination as well, like service tag, application security group from where it is just originated. Okay, so this is going to be in here. Now when we are talking about this whole thing, so these two rules I have added, like for port number 80 and port number 22, I have added these rules. Now three rules there are by default and which you cannot even delete. Okay, so in here, when we are talking about three rules like 65,000 and these, first is telling you allow VNet inbound. So if you remember, in VNet there are three different subnet, right? And a device which is in the subnet 1 wants to communicate with the device which is in the subnet 2. Okay, what you are going to do in that particular scenario? So if I will talk about this thing, okay, like here. So I'm having to have a virtual network. Okay, let's say that we are going to have a VNet, which is going to have the different subnet. And on those different subnet, there are the VMs, right? They want to communicate. So we are saying that if traffic is generated within the VNet, we will allow it. Same, we can have Azure load balancer. So if that traffic is originated from Azure load balancer, again, we are going to allow that as well, right? So two things that is allowed. Apart from that, everything else we are denying over here. Do not give anything else the access. So one by one, based on the protocol that you are using, you can define as well that protocol, port, source, destination, that what is going to be allowed and what is not going to be allowed anymore, right? So like here, I can select that right now of instead of HTTP, a custom port, a port number 80, any protocol, TCP, UDP, ICMP, allow or block. I can select any. I can give priority over here and click on save. I can edit this rule, right? Or I can create a new rule and add the inbound rule over here for inbound. And same it goes for the outbound. Three default rules are there, sorry, which is saying that if your traffic is traveling like outbound, within the VNet, someone wants to connect from one place to another, you will allow it. Now you will allow the internet outbound. So if traffic is going to go ahead and get the access of the your internet, right? Now again, if it is trying to access the internet over here, you will allow that traffic as well. Then apart from that, all is going, we are going to deny all the inbound or outbound traffic as well, right? So this kind of the rules are there. So it is very basic packet filter firewall which can protect you against the multiple threats over there. Okay, this is going to be in the particular part. So if we talk about the NSGs, right? So theory will be telling you the same thing, that NSG contain a set of rules that allow or deny the network traffic from and various different Azure resource and virtual networks. So if you remember yesterday, earlier it was not allowing you to go ahead and connect to the machine. Then I created a rule where on the port number 80 we were allowing the traffic, and what it happened, then you were simply going ahead and having the access to your machine itself, right? This is the one part. Now, second, okay. So in this particular one, what we are going to do, uh, right. So what we have something like, what it is, a set inbound and outbound rule to filter source and destination IP address based on destination's IP address, ports, and protocol. You can set the rules. Then you can add multiple rules, right? And because we have the limit how many rules you can create, you can keep adding the multiple rules. You can apply default, baseline, and security rule to the any new NSG, and you can override default rule with the higher priority rule. Like there was three rules, right? Default rule. If on top of that I create a rule with the priority of 1000 and say deny all rules, right? I go with this and I say deny everything, right? Then what will happen? This is going to be in there, right? So this is something a very simplest thing or use of the energy, very simple kind of the packet filter firewall. You can think about this one, right? Now this is a very basic one. Also, Azure has something inbuilt, Azure Firewall, right? Now, this is, yeah, they will be calling it the firewall as a service over here. Okay, so what is happening? This is going to be a stateful firewall, which is going to grant or deny the access to anyone that is going to be in there. So it can go ahead and, based on the IP address, it can make the application rule, okay, and different net inbound rules as well, just like any firewall. Okay, sorry. So yes, so what we have the firewall as well, which will be now adding the more feature over here. Now it can work with the threat intelligence. Okay, Microsoft Threat Intelligence. It can detect if traffic is coming from some malicious IPs. Okay, some from the well-known IP which is known for spreading malware, ransomware. It can detect that as well. So what it do? It is going to be a stateful firewall over there. You can apply the inbound and outbound traffic filtering rule, application rule in there. It's actually built for high availability. You can deploy its different instance so that if one time one instance is having problem, other can take over. And it has the scalability, like I was saying, if one goes down, suddenly traffic increase, it can scale as well. And you can monitor and log ever over here as well, right? So this is going to be the one part. So this is the on the networking level you will be applying it. So okay, so there are machines they are going to have, like someone asked me that there is Windows firewall. Okay, so what is happening? Windows firewall you will be implementing on the devices, right, individually, and this firewall will be working on the network level, on the VNet level. Okay, if I will show you the some, give you the bit of the reference over here. For example, I go back to the portal. This cloud, machine, it is created on this particular virtual network over here, right? And in this one, if you will see, this is my virtual network where my two machines are. If you will see, this is my address space. With my address space, there is going to be the different subnets as well. Three subnets. So in the subnet 0, subnet 1, two of the virtual machines have been already deployed. If I will go ahead and go to the firewall section, right now there is no firewall. So I can click and add a new firewall into this particular your machine itself. Now, in this virtual network. In this one, I need to give it the name. I'm not going to create it, so I'm going to give some random name over here. In the East US, I'm going to create it. I'm gonna go ahead and let it, or in the Central India region, for example, I think my resources are in the Central India. Ooh, I need to check this one out. Overview, home, this machine, yeah, Central India region, right? So here you will see there will be the different SKUs, storage keeping unit, means different plans. So basic tier, if you will be, you want to learn more about the capability with the premium feature, what you are getting things like your TLS inspection, IDS IPS capability, URL filtering, web filtering. So you can do the TLS inspection, Okay, how it will work, this whole will be explaining to you. There is going to be the IDPS, okay, intrusion detection and prevention system. With that, you can, how it will be working with the private IP. It can detect the signatures as well. Okay, signature based, severity based, direction, different options that is going to be in there. You will have option of URL filtering with it. Web categories also you can define over here, right? And you can do the logging, extraction, and all those kind of things. So you can create the different rules over there to work with the firewall at this point. So you have different tier: basic, standard, and premium tier over here with your resources over there, right? And then, usually what you have to do, you have to actually create a firewall policy and attach to it. So in the firewall policy, there will be three categories. One will be the net access, second one will be the network rule, and third one will be the application rule. So I can define which web application is going to allow the access, which is not. Second is going to be like, your okay, so when we are talking about this, second is going to be about networking, just like NSG rules. And third is the NAT. So if someone wants to go ahead, it can do the port address translations as well. So if someone wants to connect to my virtual machine, so what I can do, I can make, or I can give them the IP address of the firewall, and those can try to connect on the firewall. Then firewall, because it can detect the threat intelligence, it can work with the Microsoft threat intelligence. Now it can detect malicious IP, and if it detect that this is malicious IP, it will block the access. If it is a genuine IP, it will allow you to perform things like the RDP connection and all. So this is always going to protect you from the threats itself. So when we talk about the Azure Firewall is a managed cloud-based network security service which is going to protect your resources in your Azure virtual network. So, remember, Azure virtual network is very much similar to the traditional network, which like, is operating in your data center. So it is a very fundamental building block for the your private network. It will help your virtual machines to go ahead communicate with each other. If you're thinking about something like hub and spoke model, it will be working with that, right? So Azure firewall, it is the stateful firewall, and it can analyze and complete the context of network connection. Okay, not only individual packet it will be checking on the traffic, but whole network connection. It can analyze that. It has the feature of high availability and unrestricted cloud scalability as well over there, right? So it has, these kind of a different features over there. Now, this is the Azure firewall. Apart from that, you should be familiar that Azure and even AWS as well, they are going to give you the DDoS protections as well, right? So when we talk about the I think everyone is familiar with the DDoS attack, right? Distributed denial of service attack. So what usually attackers they will try to do, they will try to overwhelm and exhaust your application resources and making those applications slow. Like simply you have a website and they will start sending a lot and lot of traffic over there, right? With that, what is going to happen is, you know, your if you are not properly handling that traffic, your application will become slow, very slow, right? And this is going to cause a whole disturbance in the, your application was not readable. People will start losing trust into your web application. They will say that, okay, this is of, no better use over here. And they will, you will start having losses over the time. Now, what is going to happen is, by default, Azure has enabled the basic tier of DDoS protection for all its resources. For your platform right now is having a basic DDoS protection plan enabled for it. So it is by default given to you. Okay. Now, when we talk about this, what Azure is doing, Azure is sanitizing the traffic, any unwanted network traffic before it can reach to your service and impact its availability over there itself. Okay, and it help you to defense against all the DDoS attacks that is going to be there. What DDoS protection it is actually utilizing, it is utilizing the Microsoft's global network, and its scale and elasticity. It kind of, what it do, it is spread that traffic around the globe. It has the very vast network. It kind of, spread that whole thing for you, right? So it will sanitize any unwanted traffic before it can reach to your network. If you will be looking into its cost, it is a very, very costly service actually. If you will be going for the standard tier, it can protect like your 100 IP addresses, 100 public IP addresses, different resources and all, even your on-premise as well, right? So it will be going ahead and protecting your resources against the DDoS attacks as well. That is going to be in there, right? Now, last thing, we will come into the conclusion of something which you might have heard a multiple time, a defense in depth concept, right? That there should be the different layer of security. If you have any resources, you should be having different layer of security over here. So, it all started with the physical security. Someone has to compromise this first. Then your identity and access management. Then parameter, then network, then compute, then application, then data, right? Your data is encrypted. Okay. Your application will be having things like the web application firewall to protect it, right? Compute will be having the login and the JIT kind of the, your protection that is going to protect them. In network, you are going to have the, NSG, which can be there. In parameter, you can have the firewalls deployed over there. You can have Azure Active Directory and work with that, define the identity and access management. And physical security is always going to be taken care by the your cloud service provider over there. So by this, you want to design a different level, different kind of protection is there where you are working and protecting your resources. Okay, and combining all these things together, you will try to protect your resource. So what we have talked today itself. So in the today's session, we have covered two things. We have talked first management tool and the security services. Security was our focus prime, here as well. So if you remember, we have discussed things like Sentinel, Defender for Cloud, NSG, firewalls, Key Vault, you know, uh, these kind of the resources, DDoS protection, which can give you the protection. So all these things combined will be giving you a secure services. Now to deploy this, you can use what? Management tool. What? I can do it from the portal. I can use Azure CLI. I can use PowerShell, right? All these things there is going to be here. Now, with the PowerShell, what else is going to be the your particular uh, also JSON also is there, which you can use to deploy as well. Your Cloud Shell as well, you can use that as well. All these things are going to be the part which you can use onto your resources. You can deploy these security resources over here. Now, what we have got to know today, that using these tools, I have to create an environment from the security perspective, which can simply go ahead and, you know, make sure that I can, perform something like your defense in depth, and it can have, give me the permission to secure my resources at different level, create the architecture like this, which can help me to protect my resources over here, right? So this is it, guys. And I think we come to the end of the time for the day for today as well, right? So this is today's task. What we have learned, here is the your security and management tool. And tomorrow we'll be talking about some governance, risk, compliance thing, like simple thing, tags, logs, these kind of a thing that is going to be in there over here.